All right, welcome back. We're in our final segment here with Northport City Commissioner Dave Garofalo. Now, Dave, what are you doing? We know that Northport has some political muscle by having more voters. What are you doing to try to raise the profile of Northport, have Northport have more influence in Sarasota County business?
You know, again, it's all about, making our region a different area, not what's ours and yours, and having this struggle amongst municipalities or county. But being there and willing to do collaborative efforts to make, like today we met with the county and we're going to be trying to do things collaboratively to, save taxpayers' money. So there's always been this image in Northport that's really, it doesn't exist. If it ever did, it doesn't exist anymore. We have some great people in Northport. We have some great employees. I mean, the whole city is just it's vibrant. You walk in a store and you can talk to anyone in line and at Publix, and it's just, they love Northport. Again, every city's going to have their little quirks, but, that's how we get our image up. It's just keeping those relationships good.
What about one issue that I've heard about from time to time, and that's a hospital? Northport doesn't have a hospital, and you got to drive a little ways to get to one. What's going on with that?
If I had to choose one issue that when I ran and looking in the paper and seeing the youth, one issue that was not about being, of a young mind or working, it's the hospital. I want to know that I can bring my son to an emergency room and not have to be stuck in traffic for a half hour, 45 minutes. But we're addressing the issue for the short term by SMH. Sarasota Memorial is putting an ER in. So we're going to address the immediate concern. But now it's time, once that opens, we do everything else for it, and it's open for business, now it's time for us, like you said, to use our political muscle, and hopefully that timeline decreases, that a full-fledged hospital comes to Northport. They have the area, they bought the land, so it's just a matter of getting the doctors and getting the staff there. They went on record as saying most of their nursing staff lives in Northport, that drives up to SMH. So they're here, we already have the staff, we just got to actually put the building and put the concrete in.
I also read that the school board of the county is planning on possibly suing Northport. Is that true?
That's what I hear.
What is that about?
It's just about the city of Northport just did a new methodology on how they're going to put their rates in their district and the district fees for road and drainage, and we charge a school board now road and drainage assessments, and they're taking us on and saying it's a state statute or federal law that you can't charge other governmental agencies. So it's something that if they file, it's going to be something that goes through the courts. But
so it's going to be school board of Sarasota County versus the city of Northport.
And let me just say on the record,
that's an ugly headline.
Prior to David Garofalo being elected, this was in motion. So we don't know where it's going to go. Hopefully we could settle this without even going to court. So.
What do you see the future of Northport being? I mean, the past has been kind of explosive growth, lots of construction, lots of new home building, and maybe an infrastructure that was behind the growth. What do you see the future of Northport being?
Sustainable growth, something that if we do have another turn in our economy, that it bottoms out again, that we have jobs that are going to stay in Northport. When this economy bottomed out, we had everyone that was building homes in Northport. That was our workforce, so they're all out of jobs. So we went from booming in Northport to the worst economical area in this region because they were all in the construction business. So we are a city that in the future is going to have biomedical jobs, just jobs that are good benefits, and partnerships with MCC. Hopefully get this four-year university that they're going to be bringing to the program there, and just going with it, and just partnerships, government, private partnerships. Don't leave any stone unturned. Look at every angle to make our economy thrive, and that's what we're doing as a commission.
All right, Dave. Well, it sounds like there's going to be big things happening in Northport.
Absolutely.
I want to new young commissioners.
It's a calendar we made.
Wow.
And, for our 50th anniversary, so I want you to have it.
City of Northport. Northport voted for me 67% in my election.
Good job. That's why you love Northport?
I love Northport.
Good. We're having our parade February 28th.
Ukrainians and Polish Americans down there, too. How can you not? Thanks, Dave.
Ron.
Appreciate it. All right, now it's time for everybody's favorite segment, the Weasel of the Week. Okay, well, Weasel of the Week this week we're going after a journalist. The journalists in this country, they kind of move up the chain and make a name for themselves by winning awards. They give each other these awards, and how they win them is generally through investigative reporting, uncovering stories, or affecting social change. I often compare reporters to umpires. At least a good reporter should be like a good umpire, in that you should hardly notice them while the game's going on. A reporter should just, of course, report on what he or she sees and learns and what's going on in the community. However, some reporters feel like they want to get involved in the game. They want to actually throw a couple of pitches or take a couple of swings with the bat. And that seems to be the case recently in our community with Zach Anderson, who is our Weasel of the Week. Now, Zach started out writing a bunch of stories on this 911 issue with Nathan Lee, and we liked those stories, we applauded those stories, and those stories helped the cause. However, the story that was written this week was very disturbing and causes us a lot of concern. Zach Anderson wrote a story this week where the headline and the last paragraph of the story suggested that State Representative Ken Roberson, who is the state representative for Nathan Lee's district, is proposing this legislation only because of the stories written by Zach Anderson. And that absolutely could not be further from the truth. Do not ever think for 1 second that 100% of the credit for this legislation shouldn't go to Denise Lee, Nathan Lee, and Mr. Goff, Denise's father. That is where 100% of the credit should go. These three individuals have worked tirelessly since this murder for the past year to make this legislation happen. It's because of them that it is happening, not Zach Anderson. By the way, our friends at the One-Eyed Jacks at the Sarasota Kennel Club having a poker tournament this Friday. It's to benefit the Children's Dreams Fund. We have a lot of celebrities coming down, including members of the Tampa Bay Rays. So come check them out. One-Eyed Jacks this Friday. We'll see you next week.